voiceover. Wait a minute. Oh, you can't do that. We could be live any second.
Oh, too late.
No, we're not live. Shh. I think we're fine. Nothing's over there. The mic's off? Sammy, you got the mics?
My mic on?
I think the mics are on. Hold it. Shh. 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 This free acrylic tutorial is being brought to you by the Ginger Cook Academy of Fine Art and Acrylic Painting and contributions from caring viewers like you. Now, on with the show. And now, without further ado, I have the distinguished honor and privilege of presenting to you the Queen of Color, the Mother of Artists, globally acclaimed, award-winning master acrylic artist, and the star of our show, Ginger Cook, as she once again mesmerizes her audience with the daring do's and don'ts of painting with acrylics. Yes!
Hi, John. Are we live?
We are live in
Houston, Texas.
That's where we are.
We're in Houston, Texas. Well, actually,
Houston.
you guys, we invited you to this
Impromptu.
special impromptu show today. It's just a wonder here. My daughter Cinnamon sent me a text message yesterday and said that she had done a live show down from this arts store in Houston that was moving, and that they had this huge sale going, and I better get my tush down there and get up to deals up to 70% off. So I'm going, all right. And then I had this big epiphany. Is there a time when you have too many art supplies? So we're going to talk about that in the show. And I thought, how boring to watch someone else unwrap all their goodies. I mean, Cinnamon says everybody's going to want to see this art haul. I can't imagine why, but just know that, $999 later.
No, $994.
Later, we have a few art supplies, okay?
And we went down wanting or needing nothing.
Nothing. We didn't need a thing, okay? So we're the bad example. We're coming up here to show you the bad example, but also I thought, and since you're kind enough, so anyway, I thought I would do a painting along the way, and here's the thing. People always ask me, they say, do you ever have ones that don't work? Like, God, could that even be possible? I'm going to show you a stack, maybe about 4 inches thick, of little paintings that didn't work, and then we're going to correct one today, and someone's going to win it. How's that? So hang in there with me. In between unloading almost $1,000 worth of art supplies we got on sale for almost 70% off. So, I mean, it was a great deal. We'll be in debt forever, but nonetheless, it's not like we wouldn't use them someday. I mean, I think I can live to be 100. I'm going for that because I certainly have enough art supplies to do that now. But let's carry on, John.
Scoot on down.
Scoot on down. If you remember, last week we gave away this little fish at the beginning of the week. This was one of our little 10-minute lessons, and I was going to give you a quick preview. Everybody said, could you please do a larger version of that? This is going to be in our Art Academy. Got to put a little plug in for us at the within the next few weeks. We're going to have the larger version of this gorgeous fish. Isn't he pretty? But someone had won this anyway last week, and I wanted to just take a moment and show you that. So here, just to hand this to John. So the question comes up. What are we talking about? These are all little paintings that I started or did, and for whatever reason, what I would consider sort of fails. Now, there's a lot of these.
Sorry, I walked in front of you several times.
Did you walk in front of me?
I did.
Did you forget that? My gosh, John.
How rude of me.
Well, all right, this is just the crazy show. So you're sitting and saying, really? You seriously had that many pictures that you weren't fond of? You betcha. So don't feel bad if you have a picture that doesn't work. Just sometimes they don't. But here's a couple of kind of examples of ones that I thought maybe I could do something with. This one kind of didn't work. This one, for sure, the lighthouse was just kind of falling over. It looked like kind of the end of the world here, so that one didn't work. the water was wonky on this one, and this one had no contrast. You see that? The trees and everything, there's just no contrast. It's black and white. It's just one big dark painting. And that happens to acrylic artists because you're painting, you think you're swimming along painting and you think stuff is perfect, and then it isn't. So we're going to do some of these. I think, when it doesn't work, what do you do kind of things. Don't you think so? That's a good one, right? When it doesn't work, how do you fix it kind of thing. So, and this was sort of my boo-boo. So we're gonna work on that one. And I wanted to show you the first bag of stuff. Are you ready for the surf bag? We're going to do an unveiling as we go. Here's the first bag. And what we got in here was canvases that had originally been, this had originally been $18.35, and it was on sale for $3, and we got 20% off of that. And
so $2.40.
It's $2.40 for this, and it's 11 by 14, and these are little boards. You should open one for us. John's going to open one. We got bags of those. We thought, she said I couldn't sell them to anybody. We're going, we'll take them. $18 for $2.30. So we got a few bags of these, which is kind of cool, right?
These were Frederick's board.
And they're Frederick's, which is a great company, and these have been wildly expensive. And the reason she thought people would like them was they're all ready to hang. They're see, they've got this nice paper on the back. They're beautifully on the sides. You just you go ahead and you paint them. And I think, what did they say about them? Inner layer composed of recycled, eco-friendly materials. Well, that could be anything. Dog fur is recycled, but okay.
But that's okay.
I'm not saying it was dog fur. I never said that. I'm just saying,
There's no dog fur in it.
There's no dog. Sorry. Lightweight, durable, and easy to transport. Well, so are frisbees, but okay.
Well, that goes with the dog fur.
Pre-primed with acid-free titanium acrylic gesso, ready to paint. That's the catcher there, ready to paint, right? And then what could you kind of paint, could you put on? Except watercolor, acrylic, oil, tempera, gouache, and aqua-based media. So basically, that's water-based. For those of you who don't speak French, that's
oui.
I don't know if that's French, but maybe that was Latin, aqua. Anyway, in any event, we got that, right? So then we got
some.
What's this?
Exacto, which I have no idea what we got.
Elmer's products. So, she put them in a box for us. This is all the holbein paint.
No, that's not all the holbein paint.
No, this was a box of, she gave us the box to put it in so it would transport. The couple that owns this store is called Houston Art Supply. The husband's 90. They've been doing this for like 100 years or
65
something, right?
years.
65 years. And they're moving to a new store. Nobody's retiring. Nobody's quitting. It doesn't matter. They're moving to a new location, and quite frankly, they didn't want to move all their stuff, and so that's why they put it on sale. We caught it the very first day of the sale. So this is just, I got a new holbein color called Pearl White and Cad Yellow Deep. I don't think I had that before, and of course, I like their burnt umber, so I got that. So where's my box? Give me my box back. I put these back in the box, John.
No.
No?
No.
What are you going to do with them?
Put them over in our other box we already have.
Okay, we have a box. Okay, so then these were, so apparently these are, you know how we like the Posca pens, yeah? Right? And then I've often said that they didn't have a decent brand that I like. Well, these are made by Holbein, and you fill them up with your own inks. And they had like 100 different kinds of inks. We just bought a few colors. I bought burnt sienna, burnt umber, and white. And these are apparently magnificent, and these were 50% off, normally $7.50. So we got a couple of these, which we thought was a great idea, And what would you do with those? Well, you would use those for like little tiny tree branches, stuff like that, little tiny detail. And then we got another titanium white from Holbein, which is a kind of a fluid. I have a big one of, I told you we didn't need a thing. I have a golden one that's also a fluid titanium white, but Cinnamon swears by this, so acrylic fluid. So at some point we'll do a test, maybe even tonight. We don't know, but we'll put those over there. And then we got something called crystal varnish from Holbein. It's all written in Japanese. Who knows what it is?
It's crystal varnish. That's what it
I
says.
don't know what that means, though. But anyway, but we'll at some point in our lives, you and I, let's make a pact. We'll find out together. There's some matte medium, all by Holbein, gloss medium, and matte varnish. So we got some of those stuff. We can normally, as you guys, I varnish my paintings with Liquitex. See my giant bottle of this, which we had on hand already. Gloss medium and varnish, that's what we normally use. But you know what? This may be great, so we're going to take it.
We want to try it.
So he keeps throwing something. So this is part of our art haul, you guys. And then, not to be outdone, this is the Holbein stuff, and then we'll get to painting something. This is the Holbein, and this is a whole bunch of their fluid paints in nice colors, as opposed to unnice colors. You've got some magenta, some yellow, some blue, some other kind of blue, some white. Anyway, we've got some of those. Not that we're short of fluid paints, because we have a whole stack of these already that we already have, see? And they're not even slightly empty, but who knows? You can never have too many fluid paints, so we got these. And
they were on sale.
They were on sale. This is such a, John is, he's as incorrigible as I am. They're, woohoo, they were on sale. This is, anyway, John's taking those. All right, and then, if that weren't enough, I ask you, who doesn't need white paint? Really? I mean, if you don't have white paint, you're just SOL when it comes to trying to finish a painting, right? Sadly out of luck, right?
Sadly out of luck. Oh, that's a good one.
Right? So here we go. Here's some Holbein, zinc white, and we got a bunch of zinc white, and we got a bunch of titanium. That was the zinc. I don't know which is which, but this was like 50% off. They're normally almost $18 a tube.
So $9.
So nine bucks. Yeah, that's it. 9 and 9 is 18. Good thinking, Baba Louie. Yeah, so we got those. So John is over there in the accounting. We got, how many do you want? So he just scooped everything up and put it in a cart, right?
Because I can add as I go.
He can add as he goes. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, we're going to own the store here, and they'll be so upset when they have to put it all back. I wonder if they'll make us put it back. But we took it all home. That's what we did. All right, so those are the kinds of things that we got in the store. Now, as we're painting tonight, would you have one of those pads, those small pads? Those little pads? Did we get with some pads, little art pads?
Are you talking about the palette paper?
Yeah, the palette paper. Didn't we get some?
Yes, even though you didn't want to.
Well, yeah, I did, sort of.
Oh, no, you didn't. You were trying to say, no, we don't need those.
Well, again, need and want, that's such an interesting thing, right? So here, we have these big ones over here, but we thought some small ones might be handy, particularly when we're doing something small. So these are the gray palette papers, and you can't beat half off. So these were on sale on $9.40, and then we got another half off of that. So that was pretty good, right? So we got a couple of those. Whoops, something went crash. So, okay, so let's now, and we'll show you some more stuff as we go. We just thought it was pretty cool, right? So here's our, gosh, everything's in the way. All right, so here is a painting I started, okay? And when you look at the black and white photo, you can't tell anything's there. So we've got a choice. And remember, the rule of thumb is wherever there's a light, there's a dark. Everybody's with me on that, yes and yes? So if I'm saying, and I was saying the light was coming from this way, okay? So then that's interesting, because then why is the top of this light, this rock lit here behind this tree? Because that rock would have put a shadow on that tree. So there's an awful lot about this painting that doesn't work. So can this painting be fixed? And can it be fixed enough where you want to enter and win it? There you go. How's that, right? Maybe it can't be fixed, in which case we'll go to plan B. But that's the question, because at some point everybody's got a painting like this. So they kind of liked it, but then it didn't work out, and then it sits in your studio. It isn't so bad you're willing to paint over it. That's the trick. It's not so bad you're willing to paint over it. But on the other hand, right? It's not so. We'll put out some paints as we're talking. John, do we have any questions from our viewing audience tonight, our guests on our show that were so kind to show up? Cinnamon, this is her fault. She said, you guys know Cinnamon, my daughter. She said, you guys should do an art hall show when you get home, a live show. And I'm going, yeah, I don't think anybody gives a flying rip whether we bought anything at an art store. So hopefully we can make this somewhat entertaining. But
Well, 271 people are at least looking in.
well, hi, 271 people. And what happened to 272? Where are you? I ask you. Was it something we said? Sorry. So anyway, so again, you got to ask yourself. I think that the trees are the subject. Okay, not the water. Okay, the trees are the subject. This is just some titanium white. And this is stuff we already had. This isn't any of the new stuff, right, you guys? It's so funny. Oh, and did I mention that we had to drive an hour and a half to get down to this silly art store? Not silly in the way, it's a wonderful art store. And then it took us almost 2.5 hours to get home in Houston traffic. I mean, this is dedication, isn't it? To a sale. So I don't want any of that color. Probably.
But it was all on sale.
It was, well, I'm not saying it wasn't a great sale, and I understand if you guys, how many paintings do we do a month, John? How many paintings?
40 to 50.
40 to 50 paintings a month is how many paintings I produce every month. And you're going, no way, and I'm going, yes way. 40 to 50 paintings. So when I buy a little bit of canvas, it goes.
We buy it by the case.
Yeah, we buy it by the case. We buy it by the case. And nobody's giving us this canvas.
Yeah, we got to spend the money just like you guys do. So when
like
we find
do.
an art sale, we're there.
Because we know at some point we're going to use it, and we know we're going to use the paint, right? There's something called luminous yellow. I don't think I want to use that, but I might use something called yellow light.
Donna would like to know which black is the blackest black of all blacks.
I don't remember. I don't know.
No,
I can't
black?
remember. I never use black. There's one that's sort of a matte.
You can't say never.
I do use it, but not
Very,
enough where I
very
remember.
rarely.
Cinnamon did a big thing on that. She did a whole thing just on blacks, but then she uses more of it in her paintings because painting parties use black, and so people are used to it. But for the most part, you won't see a lot of black in our work. Occasionally you see it, but very often. Like I think when I did the painting on YouTube called Genie, I think we did.
You did it there, and you use it on abstracts a
And
lot.
I love black on abstracts. In fact, you know what's really cool on abstracts? You guys, this is our 10 minutes, so here's your tip of the day. Liquitex makes something called lava. And it's real lava in a gel, and it dries like little tiny black grains of sand that are a bit sparkly. Tiny little bit sparkly. Those are awesome in an abstract. The Liquitex lava, that is great stuff. If you haven't ever tried that, I would highly, highly recommend it. Going to put out some Cad Red. And I'm going to see what can we do to jazz this up. Now, one of the things we can do is just take some chalk on our black and white, right? And we're going to come up here like this, and we're going to say what would happen if this tree here were a bit lighter. Right, like that. Yay. Still want the light coming here like that, maybe on here like that. Still, no, there's a little tree back here. Okay, so already it's a better picture, isn't it? Look, see the difference? It's already a better picture, and all we did was lighten up the front trees. And if we were to put this rock really, you know, we're saying it's behind here. It's actually in front of this tree, so it could technically have some light on it, right? With maybe a little shadow going over it, say right here. Let's take a little piece of maybe a little shadow going over it right there. But it could have the light on it. This could be blocking just part of it, right? And then I would say that we needed something a little lighter in the front, yeah, to bring your eye forward. Now, what about the back? Well, what if we exaggerated that a bit, okay? And what if we exaggerated that a bit? And maybe even, okay, let's just do that. And maybe even, we had a branch here. We had a branch kind of coming up like this. We had some trees back here. I'm not sure that they did anything, these trees back here. So I'm looking at that. They don't really do it for me, these trees. So I don't think I want trees back here. I had them in this one, but they've got to go. Maybe instead, I might want a branch that came over here like this, that started here, came this way. Okay? And then maybe one that came down here like that. might be more interesting than some trees back there. In other words, have the background not say so much, and then maybe I want some light on the water, maybe more exaggerated, that came this way, like that. Okay. Okay, now I've got, do you see what happened? Now I've got a more interesting painting because I'm still playing with the lights and the darks. Yes and yes? So, all right, so that's the plan. Now I've got a plan.
Okay, you got a plan.
Yeah, okay.
I'm liking it.
I mean, but I want to explain why I had the plan.
Well, you got to have a plan.
Yeah, so that's my plan.
So now you have to execute your plan.
Well, John, your brilliance just astounds me sometimes when you come up with these things. All right, here's some ultramarine blue, a little bit of that. So I think that it might be more interesting, again, everything's the same value, if we didn't take let's take a small little angle brush, and we're going to lighten it up. And
hey, we'd like to thank our moderators who showed up in an unannounced show. We have Tonya, and Wendy.
Hi, Wendy. Hi, you guys.
I believe that our
Listen, we let our moderators enter the contest too. I think anybody that shows up and volunteers to help with the show gets to enter the contest. I know sometimes on some channels when somebody's winning something, the moderators don't get to play, and everybody's got different rules. We do it because we feel like if they showed up to play, that's fair, you guys, because they volunteer here. All right, so I'm thinking I want some light green back there, but that's too bright. So if I took a little red and grayed it out, but I want something light back here, right? And I think I want something light there and maybe something dark here. First off, I'm going to just get rid of the trees back here, okay? We're just going to, I don't like that tree branch either. That's going to go. These trees are going to go. The deep dark tree forest is going to go back here. I don't think we need any trees back here. I think that they kind of take away from our picture, okay? For me, right? They just sort of take away from that, so we don't need that. And then I'm just talking about some fast stuff that we can do here that might make this painting more appealing. So then that's kind of nice, but I'm going to just dry that. Well, all right, let me work on something else while that's drying. All right, so where's my cad red medium and a little bit of yellow? Okay. Like that, maybe some sort of yellow color. All right, so I want something lighter on here. I mean, much lighter on this tree. So maybe I'll put a little bit of yellow and white and a little bit of cad red, some sort of light orange color. I thought it was pretty light before, but apparently it wasn't light enough, right? So I'm going to lighten up this tree. I'm going to put a little bit of white with that.
It's already looking better.
Yeah, just because here's the thing, 90%, you guys probably know this already, but I'll just mention it. 90% I do personal art coaching for our academy members, which we have an online art academy, and 90% of my coaching is really change the contrast. And I think, and what happens is that what'll happen is that you get the paint dries, and then it all looks the same, and you thought it was okay, and it just wasn't.
Good.
So you got
acrylics dry darker.
Acrylics dry darker, and a lot darker sometimes. So it wasn't really that you just totally misjudged the whole thing. It just sort of got tricky on you, right? Yes and yes? Okay,
And
so maybe I want some lighter moss green on this tree. If I had some moss green, and if I did a little moss green, use ultramarine blue on it because that would make it kind of olive green. I could have some moss green on this tree trunk, and that would make this lighter too. See, it doesn't all have to be like light paint. I just have to get something a little bit lighter here on this tree. Look here. Oh, that's kind of nice. Let's get some. Just dry brush this on here. A little bit of moss green. See, it's already kind of getting. Here we go. Just a little bit of, just something growing up the trunk. Now let's put a little bit more yellow, maybe some yellow oxide with that. Let's just say this is brighter here. Here, let's just lighten up this tree here. Okay. Now that's kind of cool, right? There's this little stump here. Maybe we've got some, okay, that's a little bright. Pull a little bit down here, but that's okay. I don't mind. I want you to kind of exaggerate the difference here, but I want you to see what happens when you're saying that the top of these tree roots are lighter. Okay. Something got lighter right there. Okay, by this tree here. Okay, like that. Okay, so this got a little bit lighter. Something got lighter up here. So already this painting looks a little better, and for no other reason than we lightened up everything. So, I mean, that's just something you can do. Any questions, John, while I'm chatting away here? This is a live show. No. You can ask questions, you guys. And you put them in caps so people see them. Okay? So put them in caps so people, you definitely want people to see this. Okay? Okay. Okay.
Judy's at bingo.
Judy's at bingo?
Yep. Sorry, Judy.
Judy.
Good luck, though.
Well, Judy cleans house at bingo. She's, you know,
she's a bingo star.
She's a bingo star. They see her coming and they all just go, "Oh no, Judy's here," because she always wins. You know, some people are just kind of lucky that way. All right. So how's that interesting? Now, I haven't done too much here yet with these with the woods, you know, the front woods, right? But you can kind of see where it's already looking better, yeah? And I've got my pond back here. I wonder what would happen if I lowered it. But now I don't think I want to do that. So let's change. I don't want to change this picture too much. I just want to show you a little bit about contrast. So let's take some phthalo blue, yellow, and a little white. Okay, and let's just say this is our darkest. Let's just repaint over this pond. A little bit more phthalo blue here.
Has Ginger ever bought a thrift store painting or garage sale painting and painted over it?
I did that one time with some canvases that were so beautifully framed. I did that one time, yeah, at a garage sale, and I just painted over it because I wanted the frames. But generally I found that you can't really paint acrylics over oils, and it's hard to know what something really was. Does that make sense? So you don't always know what it is you're buying at that point. So that may not be the best use of your funds. How's that? Okay. So that's one thing. See, now this tree is very light, very dark here on the left side. So if I lighten up the water here, I just want you to see that. I can just start to lighten up this water, and now the tree shows up, right? Okay, now let's just come back up here and do the same thing right here. We'll still have to play with the water a little bit, but I'm going to lighten this up.
Donna would like to know how about if you dulled down the back trees? For your back trees? Oh.
Well, they're pretty dull. The back ones are really dull, and they just kind of made for busy reflections in the pond, and I don't think we need those either. So I think these rocks in fact, these rocks really don't do anything for me. Here's a little ultramarine blue. Let me just play with this water here a little bit. So I can have some little dark areas of the water. I just don't want anything too dark right next to these trees. Does that make sense? So that you see the trees. So see what we're playing with the colors a little bit. Is the ultramarine blue to is that just that, you know, maybe bluer than we want. Here we go. Let's put a little tree. Let's put a little water right there. So now now at least you can see the trees. Okay. So I haven't done these other branches and stuff, but you can see the trees. So what might be nice, okay, is to have, and let's see, let's get a little of the zinc white out there too, because that doesn't hurt when we're doing stuff like that.
Ow.
And that's your mixing white, but it could have been zinc. They're all kind of the same. All right. So
Codes would like to know, will writing a message on the back of the canvas diminish its value?
Depends who wrote it.
If
if you had a message from Picasso on the back of your canvas, do you think that would diminish the value of it?
No.
You know?
But if John Smith from down the street
wrote on the back of it, Kilroy was here, thought this was a sucky picture, might not depend, depends who wrote it. Okay, so much of that is okay. So these purple, this pond here, I think we've got some interesting colors here. I need to go into the mixing white now. Remember, I just sat there. I want to go into the mixing white and start doing this because that will kind of just.
That looks like one of the lakes I dove in Orlando in.
Does it?
Uh-huh. Same color.
So we're going to say that we're going to come this way. Remember, brush direction is everything. So we want to come this way with the...
On the Houston Art Supply sale is only physically in their store.
Yeah, it's not
online stuff. Yeah,
it's just physically in their store. But it was a good enough deal for us to be willing to get on there and drive down there and pick up stuff. They had the gold. Well, we'll show you some other stuff they had in a second.
Yeah, we're not done yet.
We got tons more stuff. That wasn't $900 worth by a shot, right? So let's just see if I can do something like this.
Now, the index we have right now for this painting that she's working on, the link has been put up several times by the moderators, and the secret word is Art Hall, so secret words. It's also on the screen. If you're watching this as a recording, don't bother going there, it won't work. If you can get to a point here, we're going to let it dry and we'll open up some more of the Art Hall fine products. We did have a question from Kathleen in regards to a brush that I use for varnishing so you don't get the streaks. Ginger will show that to you when she has a moment. It's called the Ultimate Varnish Brush from Silver Brush.
Silver Brush Company, yep.
Silver Brush Company. You get them at the Brush Guys they're like $18. But they work great. And I varnish literally hundreds. And I'm still using, I have two, use two in rotation.
I wonder if I should have let that dry a little bit, probably.
Where that is no longer looking quite right.
That's all right, I can fix it. That's all right, there. All right, so I have to decide if I want some of that. I wanted some of this light coming across the water here. And let's just take this back again.
Ooh, someone's asking about the auction coming up. Yes, it is coming up, I believe, next week. The start of it is next Saturday.
Well, we're gonna stagger it over a couple of days, so we're gonna keep adding.
There'll be items added for probably the next 3 days after on the 8th. So we're gonna start at the 8th. So it'll be 8, 9, and 10. We'll be putting items up. Mm-hmm. It's gonna have a lot of stuff up there, a lot of different variety this time, and you guys are gonna have plenty of time to look it over.
That's it. You're going to have plenty.
Did the Art Hall include brushes? Yeah, they had brushes, but they didn't have
the rubies. They didn't have the silver line. They carried the Princeton brushes, which are those. But we just, how we are with our. They didn't.
We're kind of snotty about brushes.
I'm going, well, isn't it? The mom goes, well, where are the Art Sherpa brushes, right? Because everybody wants to know that, right? And she said that because they knew they were moving when she saw those last year at NAPTHA, which is the big art convention, right? She thought about putting up the brushes and then decided against it. So now I'm sitting here playing that and just shoving that back in here like that. I had some ideas about what I wanted to do and didn't like it. While we're talking, see?
Yeah, we get it from the Brush Guys. Remember to put in Ginger Cook, one word for your discount, 5%. It does add up.
Oh, and those guys are so awesome. They ship all over the world.
And they're fast.
And they're fast, right? So
typically comes first class mail, but from California, I get it usually like in 3-4 days.
Yeah, I mean they're really good.
When they have something in stock, if you want a ruby satin silver, they run out of the angles a lot, the 1/4, 3/8, and half, because Ginger uses those, and I buy them typically by the case from them. I buy everything they've got available because of how fast she goes through.
Yeah, well, when you do as many paintings a day as we do, you can go through. It's easy enough to go through. It's really easy to go through paint. You've got to appreciate that, right? Okay, let's just get this a little darker down here because we just kind of messed that up. All right. So now we're repairing a few things, but still looks better. We haven't done
What happened to all the lightness
everything.
you just put in the back?
What?
I looked away. You had some nice lightness going on back there.
I did, but I took it out.
I see that.
You can see that. Can you see that?
Boy, I'm going to have to replay this.
Yeah, so I took it out. What?
One spirit would like to know, is Sherpa your daughter?
Yeah,
question mark,
Cinnamon's my
question
daughter.
mark, question mark?
Yeah,
question mark?
Cinnamon's my daughter.
No, the Sherpa.
The
not
art
Cinnamon.
Sherpa. Yeah,
No,
the art
the
Sherpa is my
Sherpa.
daughter. No, formerly known as Cinnamon, you know.
In her other life.
In her other life, she used to be Cinnamon, and my granddaughter's named Honey. So we have Ginger, Cinnamon, and Honey. In fact, my mother was so pissed off about me naming her Cinnamon that she called her Cynthia, and she used to send her birthday checks with
Just made out to
Cynthia for
Cynthia.
$10. You know, every year for $10. Whether my mother was like that. And Cinnamon, when she got older and realized that she got the checks herself, she wouldn't cash them because she felt that if my mother couldn't at least get her name right, then she wasn't going to bother with the checks. Of course, they never changed. My mother did $10 every year, you know, for years. That was her thing. The other thing my mother used to send for cookies, oh no, she sent cheese every year. From Figgies. You guys remember Figgies?
No, we had, well, we lived in Ohio, so we had Hickory Farms.
Yeah, well, we had something called Figgies. It was a catalog, one of the first catalog things. I don't eat cheese, and every year she'd send me cheese. And finally I got brave enough, and you have to understand my mother. I said, listen, it's just a couple pages over on 14. Do you think you could just change the cheese to a box of cookies? Just saying, right? Just saying, you know, without sounding ungrateful, because, of course, we ended up giving all that cheese away anyway. All right, let's let this dry for a second. We'll come back to it, and we'll show you more art hall stuff. One of the things we got was, this is...
Oh, wait, before you do that, show the brush.
Oh, yeah, here's the brush. This is the brush we use, and this is...
we use.
Well,
That's the royal we.
John does all the art, all the varnishing, but this is the ultimate varnish brush. It's made by Silver Brush. It's part of the brushes that Cinnamon has in some of her kits. You can buy it individually at the Brush Guys. It's a 1-inch, and these are the best. They don't leave streaks. These are the best. And of course, if you watch my video on how to, I have a video on YouTube on how to varnish. Because if you go all the way across like that and up and down like that, that is the fastest way to ruin a painting. So if you want to find out, watch how to do it, because I do have information on that. And also, people used to ask me years ago, what kind of varnish brush do you use? And I always got a soft, cheap one. And it wasn't until, and then you have to be careful you don't get hairs and stuff in your painting, and then it's a problem. These are the best varnish brushes I've ever seen in my entire life. They are well worth the money. Here you go. John's grabbing it back. All right. So the other thing in our art haul that we got from Daniel Smith makes something called a gold gesso. Now, we also have this from Holbein that Cinnamon gave me a little bag of it, okay, partially opened. Not that I'm complaining, right? But
we get the hand-me-downs.
So, you know, well, she gets a lot of stuff free, okay? And back when I used to work at Jerry's, Daniel Elliott used to hand me stuff all the time free, and I'd give it away on the show. But now that he's not a manager there anymore, that was the end of that gravy train. But anyway, this was half off, and normally this is, wait for it, $43 for this gold gesso. We got it for
$20.
20 bucks. That, and what do you do with that? Well, there's an artist in, her name is Humphrey, and she lives in Texas, but she's English. Humphrey, I forget her first name. And anyway, she lives just not down far. I used to, you know, talk to her all the time in the art store. She is the artist that's the official Kentucky Derby artist. She's the one that she's a magnificent horse artist, just phenomenal. And Leslie Humphrey, that's her name. And Leslie only uses this as an underpainting before she starts any of her horse paintings. Just interesting. I mean, it's always fun to know what other artists do. That's her thing, is this. So we got that. And then we got something called high solid gel medium. Now, we've got gels. Okay, let me just say, I mean, I own a whole pile of gels. I've got boxes. This is high solid gloss gel from Golden, right? Okay, so some people saying, well, what's a gel? A gel is, it looks white but dries clear, and it adds texture to your painting. Very nice for palette knife stuff, okay? Well, and flowers, and when you want to have texture, I like this is like the squishy bags they're now giving kids baby food in bags like this. It's a good thing they don't put them in bright colors, or a kid could be confused about what was in there. I think it was a giant snack. Sorry. Well, they do that, right? Not kids, but they do make. You know what I'm talking about, right? All the little baby food bags that are
Well,
like this.
I do.
Yeah. So
Did you
anyway,
expect
this had
people to hear
been
you?
$16.45, and we got that for half off. Okay. And then if that weren't enough, then we got something called high solid modeling paste. No idea what that is, but I'll tell you what, you guys, again, let's make a pack. Let's discover what this stuff is together. Then this is called medium high solid, as opposed to, this look like the same thing? Oh, did you get 2 packages?
We did.
Huh.
Hope we like it.
I hope we like it. It's the same number. Well, it's the same. Okay, we got 2 of those.
So it was 2 for 1.
And then we got a bronze. Oh, look at this. This is a gesso. It's a bronze gesso. Can you see it? Kind of a greenish bronze color.
Cool color.
You know who would have done really well with this? I'm trying to think. Who was it that painted that Sphinx, the Sphinx, recently for a friend, one of our members? And this would have been a cool background color for that. And then we got, oh, look at this with the little bag. This
Just
is
a big gesso.
This is a big thing of gesso. Come on, just squishy. Just the tactile feel of it. This is all holbein stuff. And again, how much was this stuff? This was $13.50, and we got it for half price. So of course John had to try it. All of this stuff was around $16 here, which we got for half price. Awesome stuff. How much was that other stuff? The bronze gel.
The bronze was $75 list.
What?
$75.
This was.
Yes, it's real bronze.
75. This is $74.50 list. They had it on sale for $52, and we got it for half price of that.
Yep.
So we got it for $25.
How could you not get it?
How could you not get it?
That's
but I
what
mean,
I
that's
said.
Normally $74. You must really want this, but it's nice, right? So that's all right. So that's part of the haul. Let's get meanwhile back at the trees. Yeah.
You're going to go back to the tree for a
We're
moment?
going to go back to the trees, and we'll show you some more stuff. I mean, I don't know if you're interested in all our silly hearts. I mean, how do you spend $1,000 and almost $1,000 at the art store in an afternoon and still get stuff for 70% off? That's a pretty big art haul, right? So, all right. So I've got my reference now. You see, because we've kind of brightened this up, and I like that, right? And I just want a few more of these little bit of light streaks in my water now that it's dried up. I can do just a little bit here like this and continue this on. Just something like this to kind of carry it this way. All right. I like that. That's pretty. Better water, kind of almost kind of tropical. This is so tropical that, I mean, I've got the rocks here, but let's put in these tiny little branches now that are coming down this way. I think I was going to do some light streaks on here, but I want to do my branches first. So now here's a good place to try. What did we buy here? Where'd my stuff go? Well, here's oh yeah, here is the titanium white fluid from Holbein. So let's see what that is. I suspect there's no, there wasn't. Look at that. I figured there'd be something there, but there's not.
Looks like the cap is sealed though.
Is the cap sealed? Oh yeah, so it is. Look at that. I don't have my glasses on. I've got them on my head where because they look nice there. Cover up hair roots. Here. So, just don't stop. All right, so now, here we go.
So Eric wants to know the gel medium's what he needs for to add texture?
Well, normally if I'm adding texture to something, I'm using something called extra heavy gel medium for real texture.
Really thick stuff.
If you want it to add texture. I've got a video on that too, and in fact that's up on YouTube on how to do that, just by the way, in case anybody cares. There is stuff up there about that. All right, so I want to put, and then I wanted the brown. Where did that brown go? There was a brown one. Grab me the brown, please. Didn't I buy a brown in this? Because I want to put some...
We have the burnt, what do we get? We got burnt sienna and burnt umber. The burnt brothers.
I think I want the burnt umber. I'll tell you why. I don't want the ink. I want the. I bought the fluid too. I bought the fluid, not the ink. I don't want the ink. I guess I could use the ink. Should I try the ink? I don't know. The ink was for the pen. I hate to use it up for that, but I guess I could. We bought a fluid. Well,
I don't remember getting
we did. Well, we
Well,
haven't.
we haven't
Maybe
come
we haven't
across it
unwrapped
yet.
We haven't across it. All right. So I'm going to say that this is my.
Why haven't we come across that yet?
I'm going to say I'm going to have a branch coming down here like that, right? And come down into the water like this. Okay. And then let's see. I think we said we'd have one coming over this way. Okay. Gonna have one coming up this way and this way. I like the fluid in this little zero brush. It's very nice. Look how I want you to see how thin I can get my branches. Okay. So that part's that part's really nice, right? But of course, do I really? I not necessarily want white branches, but they're here they are. Now, how am I going to work on that? Because while he's looking for the other stuff, right? I'm just going to pull this down here like that. Because that's kind of what I want, something like that. Some branches that are coming across here like that. And maybe something from this tree. Let's just say this tree was forward and coming this way. All right, so I kind of like that. So I think that's kind of cool. And then let's see, let's put some color with this. Maybe a little yellow oxide. You can add color to a flow. You don't have to have all the, in other words, the question comes up, do you have to have all the flow color? No, I don't think you do. I think you can still add some color to your picture and not necessarily, and get some thin lines. As long as you've got something that's flowing, I think you're probably okay. All right, so did you find the dark?
No, and I don't remember getting any.
Huh. Well, I think we did. Well, but that's okay. Did we come out with all the bags?
Well, I do have the a burnt umber ink, just so you can see what it does.
All right, we're gonna go for the burnt umber ink.
Be
right?
careful when it opens because it could squirt. That's what it says.
It squirts?
It could if you open. Don't open it over your painting. There.
All right, so let's try that.
Ooh, very liquidy.
So let me just dry this real quick, right?
Oh, good.
Just dry that. I'll dry that, and then I'll put the little bit of dark over it, okay? See what it does, all right?
So you're going to go ahead and dry that right now?
Normally I do the dark first and then put the light, but we're going to do it backwards, okay? Yeah?
Well, hold on.
John's going to figure out how to mute it. Then he's going to answer some cool questions.
No, probably not.
No? You have nothing to answer?
There, you can go. Okay.
Well, there's no... What happened here?
Oh, it's down. You're muted, so it doesn't matter. You can sit there and carry on and nobody will even hear you. Move your foot. Move your foot again. Move your foot again. Okay. One of these days we ought to rewire the room. Okay. So she's carefully drying that stuff. Do we have any questions? Again, all the things that we're getting, the
Can you print out the color again of this? Do you have that? Any way to do that? No.
print out what color?
The original of this, do you have a way to print it out?
No. Nobody told me to keep it.
Well, we're ad-libbing here. We've never done
I thought you were repainting. When we were originally talking, we were going to repaint.
Well, we never. Okay, this is the ink, you guys, right here, and I'm using a zero brush.
Wait. Start again.
This
Now
is
say that again.
This is the ink, you guys.
I'm going to use my zero brush. See, you have to complete the whole sentence.
Using my zero brush. I'm going to come up here like this, kind
Let
of.
me zoom in on this action.
Okay, I'm just going to come up here like this, and just. I'm going.
looks like it
I'm
works
going.
pretty
Kind of
good.
go. Oh yeah, it's very nice. Wow, this is nice.
It looks like it covers very well.
Oh, it does, and it's very nice.
Gee, we might have to make another trip down there and get all the colors. They have a ton of colors for the inks.
Yeah, you can go down by yourself. I'm over that
You
experience.
cleaned your varnish brush between coats. Yes, because my coats are about an hour or more apart.
Oh yeah, you should.
gotta
If you had
definitely
time,
clean
you
it.
should wait a day. But for sure, you got to clean them. Goodness gracious. Okay, so I'm gonna say.
Goodness gracious.
Here
Goodness
we go.
gracious, Miss Molly.
There. Okay, so I've got these branches coming, and because there's a little white on the background, they show up a little more. Yes and yes. Because there's a little bit of white here, so I'm just.
The pack of Holbein paints only had the primary colors in black and white.
Yeah.
I know we looked at them, but I don't remember getting any because I found the inks after that.
Yeah. So.
I'm kind of liking these inks myself.
Yeah, I love these inks. Look at how that's. You know what I mean? And acrylics are darn hard to get tiny lines with, and you think it's you, but it really can be. This, you know, this is, how some trees have all these little branches.
Yes.
And then they're just, you just don't want to put that many in, right?
This is acrylic ink.
Yep.
And it's by Holbein.
Okay.
Change the air from your hair dryer, warm or cold?
Warm. Now, as I add paint to this, okay, so I've added a little bit of gold paint on top of that white. Okay, just to give it a little bit more depth here for our branches on some of these, right? And then, remember we talked about wherever there's a light, there's a dark. So let's just take it here and make a little orange color. And I want to come under this darker branch right here with a little bit of light so that this branch shows up from the tree. See that? You wouldn't see where this branch shows up if I didn't do that. And so that's the trick. You know, if you want something lighter, here, let's just come up lighter here, right here on this tree here, and play with a little bit of light. Right, like here, like this. Let's just come up here like this. Now, we're not doing light everywhere, but look what we did. You see how we started capturing your attention by putting the light here. And we're not going, you know, I might come up here just a little bit and bring your eye back to this branch. Okay, and then maybe up here on this one, okay?
How are the acrylic inks drying? Are drying as fast, faster, about the same?
I can't tell because I've just barely put them on there. I think it's dry. They look dry. They're dry.
So it's already dry.
It's dry.
So the ink is just like the fluids, only a little bit more liquidy.
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
so it's dry, right?
So it's more liquid than the fluids.
Yes, it's more liquid than the fluid. Oh yeah, it is. It's absolutely more liquid than
So
the
they're probably
fluids.
just not watering it down. It's probably a polymer they're using to do it.
Yeah. So I'm just going to add a little bit of dark here to kind of bring your eye back into the picture. Probably this would have been a good time to have phthalo green, but we can do that. Make some sort of blue, phthalo blue-green color. I want this a little bit darker right here. And then I'll take a little bit of the mixing white and put over it here. Let me get that blue off the brush.
Isabella would like to know, if one has all the basic colors, what colors should I buy next?
Well, we talked about that the other night on a live show. What you want to buy next is are the like cad red light, cad red, cad yellow light.
Basically,
you're try to get your and then any of your reds are good. Magenta, for sure, is a nice one to have. All right, now look here. This is very dark here, so if I lighten it up right here, okay, like that, I can lighten this up right here a little bit. So I just want that tree to show up. Does that make sense? And I just maybe put a little blue here because I want that tree to kind of peek through here. So this is the kind of thing, if you're sitting there saying, and then one of the things you can do a picture like that, if you've got all this turquoise, you can add a little orange somewhere, because why is that? Because turquoise and orange are opposite each other on the color wheel, and they're complements. So if I put a little orange somewhere in this tree, people always say I'm the queen of color, but if I put a little orange somewhere in this tree, like that, something a little brighter, like this, maybe not as light as all that, but something a little bit brighter next to this turquoise, then that kind of pops the picture. Don't like that brush. Let me just change it out. And cad red medium, and brighten this orange up here, right here, just in a couple places. I don't need to do a lot of this. Just in a couple places, I've got a little bit brighter, And that pulls up the, what that does, okay, what something like that does is just kind of jazz the picture up a bit, right? Might come up here with a little bit of this moss green in the front, brighten up something in the front here. Okay, just pull it down like that, kind of brighten up, bring some light up here into the front. That's another thing I could do. Now I haven't put any flowers or anything in this picture. Haven't put any flowers. Basically, all I've done is just add a few tree branches, right? And here's a little light on top of this one. So that's the fluids. That's not the ink now. And make that a little bit wider here. Branches always are a little bit wider as they, like your arm. Think of your arm. It's wider at the shoulder than it is at the wrist, right? So think of that when you want to, when you're doing something like that. So let's just bring a little bit of this light in here like that. Let's just say there's some light streaking here. Let's maybe put a little bit of green on this tree. Okay, like that. So we're just going to exaggerate that a little bit. And that's the kind of thing. Then you have to ask, so how did we do? Did we bring this tree up? Did we do something? Did we kind of help the painting? Did we took away some of the busyness from the rocks, from the background. We played with our lights and our darks. Yeah, we might have said that there was some, here's the dark tree roots. And again, originally I did have a reference for this painting. Who knows where it is now? But I did have one. I just didn't sit here and make this up. This is what we always tell you to do. But still, sometimes you can just do something like that and say, here's the dark rock here on this corner. Okay, like there. And the rocks. And I might have some light water coming out this way, I think. Okay, just bring my water out this way, sort of zigzag it down. So here's our lake. We haven't said much happened. I have a tree here, but what if we extended the water on this side of the lake, right on over here? What if we said there was water going this way? So I think that was nice to sort of bring the lake on the other side of this tree. I think that helped. There's a big dark spot here. Do you see that? So we could do something with that. Maybe have a little bit of something a little bit lighter in here like that to make this tree a little more interesting. Okay. So that's what you do when you're talking about is there something I can do with this tree branch? Can I bring this down? Do I need a little dark somewhere? Can I add a little more bark? Because these trees are kind of our center of interest. So we can play with those. Did I bring the pattern down? If I were going to do this again, I probably wouldn't have this tree leaning that much. All right, if I were going to paint this again, I might straighten this tree up a little bit. Okay, maybe not having leaning quite so much. Maybe having, let's get a little dark brown tree branch here. Maybe having this tree, this part of the tree be a bit, let's see, let's just make this a bit darker here. That's some of that acrylic ink. Okay, so let's bring this tree up a little bit. It's kind of widen this right there. So that kind of looks better. So this is exactly, not even kind of, this is exactly what you want to do when you're deciding whether you can, when you're looking at a painting, where are the lights, where are the darks. Do you have this? You can't print this again either, can you? Because you just photocopied this, right? You can't hit it again. Okay. All right. So then I'm going to sit there and say, okay. So here's our inks. All right. I think I'm pretty happy with the tree branches. This tree could be a little bit wider down here. the one we put here, or maybe make it, probably lighten it up on this side. I said that there was another tree here. Came over here like that, kind of acting as a stop. And I wouldn't put anything else in this picture. That's just it. Do we know if we know? Well, maybe I might do something like this. I want something here. I know. Let's do this. Did we get any other color inks? That's what we got, right?
Just those three.
Just those three, right? So I might just...
I wanted more, but you shut me down.
Well, I wasn't sure that we'd need them. I'm just going to say up here like this. We have some grasses that are growing up here off the rock. Kind of act as a
Tina would like
stop.
to know, how often do you go back and revisit a painting you don't think worked?
A lot.
We did
either
a
I scrap it completely, right?
We've done a few of those.
We've done a few of those. We've scrapped them completely.
The one lesson that we just finished, she had painted it, and I thought it was done 4 different times during the painting process.
Okay, so I'm looking at this going,
The
what would
filming
happen?
process.
See, what would happen if I had a little bit of some, dried grass here. Now, what I need is a gold flow paint. So I don't like that. Now, this is what you can do. If you've dried everything, this is the trick, you guys. This is acrylics. You can't do this with watercolor, but if you've dried everything, you can
do it
erase.
with watercolor, we just smear it all.
Well, yeah, but you could erase, see? So that's what I just did. I erased that because I didn't like it, but I know I want something there. I just don't want that. So here, these are golden fluids, right? And I want just, I'll try those like that. That's the fluid, those are fluid acrylics. Try the brush end, that's always good. I'd recommend that. All right, so I'm going to just say that maybe coming up here like this, let's put some of that white in it. Let's mix those up here.
Christine would like to know, do you need to use an acrylic ink on an acrylic painting, or can you use just a regular ink?
You can't use a regular ink.
It won't
Because
last.
it will run. But you can use acrylic ink on paper. You don't need that, right? So here we go. Here's some.
Because acrylic is plastic. Just think about it. You're
See,
writing on a piece
see
of
how we
plastic.
gave it a little bit of that, and maybe we gave it a little bit of acrylic is you guys, acrylic is plastic. Okay, so we're just going to say we've got a little bit of grass coming up over this rock, make it a little bit more interesting. And is there anything else? Can I do anything else here with these branches to make them show up? There. So I would say I think that's done. How are we doing with time, John? We got some time to do some more art hall stuff, right?
Oh, absolutely. People are still hanging in there.
Still hanging in there. If you're still hanging in there, I may show you something else. I think that we're going to definitely do a giveaway on this one. Probably have time to do another one.
No way.
Yeah, I probably do. I think I kind of got this one. Don't you guys think so?
Well, we need to let it dry and do another Xerox copy. Remember Xerox copy? Anytime you wanted to copy something, it was a Xerox copy.
And I think they just went the route of the dodo, didn't they? Xerox? Yeah.
I don't know if they must be still around somewhere.
Do you think they are?
Oh,
I don't
sure.
know. And I'm going to put a little
They're too big.
twig up here like this. Like that, maybe with this grass.
Was this a 10-minute painting?
Well,
No.
this is how we fix it. I'm just showing you how you might
This is a
fix a
fixing
painting.
painting.
This is how you fix a painting.
John, did you and Ginger get married? No, not yet.
Our wedding is on the next year. We put
May
a big
28th.
invitation out to the whole world. I don't know how you missed it.
We have
Right?
a YouTube invitation.
We have a YouTube invitation. We're going to be married by a captain on a cruise ship. And we invited everybody to come that wanted to. We got a limited
40.
number of guests, so if it fills up, that's the end of it. But all right, so I would say that's our lights and darks. I like that. Don't you guys like that?
I like that. I think we'll let it dry.
We'll let it dry. But this is and I'll sign it real quick. Now, can you sign with this instead of a Posca pen? Let's see. Okay. Yeah, you can sign with it too. Look at that.
At least it's not Rumpelstiltskin.
All right, so there you go, you guys. That's signed. That's something that could be.
Somebody's going to win this marvelous rework.
Somebody, yeah, you're going to win that, and it's going to one of a kind too, because it's not a lesson. Just something we thought you might enjoy, winning. Let's just put a few little streaks in here because I want to. There we go. Yeah, so this is nice quiet trees by a pond. Okay, so let's show a little more art haul, and then we'll do another one. I think the one we're going to fix next is this one. This one right here. We're going to fix that one next. And then someone can win this.
Okay, give me some landing area. Move that stuff out.
Okay, so that's what we're going to do next. You can
Because we're going to go over the golden paints now, baby.
You can make a copy of actually what it looked like so we can show the before and after. We'll get better at this, you guys. I've got stacks of these. For those of you who came in late, this is a stack of paintings that didn't work.
And those were just warm-ups.
And those are just warm-ups. So I thought that might be a fun thing to do. All right, so this is our golden haul. This is the golden part. We got titanium white, zinc white, cad red light, titanium white, zinc white, titanium white, or a vat orange. I don't know what that color is, but it looked fun.
It was the Series 8.
Series 8. That means that was wildly expensive. So this was normally, ready for this, $38, and we got that for half price. So then suddenly that was worth trying. We got one Payne's Gray, we got a purple, we got another zinc white. We go through a ton of yellows. So we got two cadmium yellows, we got more white. Again, if you don't have white paint, you're just sort of stuck. So, all right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 titaniums and 1, 2.
How are we going to put? We took out all the titaniums they had.
4 zinc whites.
We took all the zincs they had too.
We took everything. We basically bought them out, and then a purple.
Because you can never have enough
Payne's
white.
Gray and the reds. We got this cadmium orange, which is CP cadmium orange, which we've never tried, and that was originally $38, and we got that. You got that on sale for half off. And then this other cad red, and then this called this vat orange, which was. Let me put my glasses on to share this again. $38. And the yellow was like $35, and the white normally would have been like $18. So you know, the brighter the colors, the higher they go up. So John's going to take these away.
That's I wasn't going to. I was going to leave them there.
Yeah, and then what else do we get? We got more stuff. I mean, I'm telling you what, this was the haul, right?
This was the haul.
Sometimes people just like to see the, you can't believe what happens when how do you spend $994 on an art store in a couple of hours? And so we'll just clear all this away. He went and found a box because he's so neat and nice. So again, when we do, how many pictures we paint, how many paintings a month, John?
40 to 50.
40 to 50 paintings a month is how many we do. We have our Art Academy gets
4 to 5 lessons.
4 to 5 lessons.
No, they get 5 to 6 lessons.
6 lessons, and then we paint ahead for we
do at least 2 or 3 of everything.
Ahead. So we're doing probably we're recording sometimes as many as 3 paintings lessons a day.
Let's
and
talk
then we're
GAC.
designing painting.
We're talk GAC.
Oh, we got some GAC.
Oh, we got some more.
We got some satin glazing liquid, some GAC 500, some GAC 800, some GAC 200, some GAC 100. John really had fun with the GAC. He heard it was a good day, so he got it all.
They do different things, so again, we
got to
figure out what they do.
And then one of the GACs we're going to use, because I have a really beautiful computer bag that we use when we travel, and we're going to put one of these GACs on it, and we'll show that. We'll do a video on that.
We just don't know which one it is, so we just had to get them all.
He got them all rather than just look it up on the internet. He bought them all. He bought one of everything. So take the GACs away. Everybody's a GAC at this, right? They're a GAC at all the GAC. How much were the GACs, John?
Oh, they were reasonable. $26.
Half off of 26, half off
13,
of 20,
15.
half off of 15. Okay, so that's normally these would be just woody expensive.
What kind of word is it?
Woody expensive.
Woody
expensive. Yeah. So that's good. Yeah.
You can never have enough GAC.
Okay. And
okay, where are we at?
So while he's finding more stuff, I'm going to show you what we could. Again, this was another little painting that didn't work. And so then the first thing we're going to do is fix that while we're talking. But we need to talk about why it didn't work. Well, it's very busy. This ocean's up here with all this business is too busy. This is way too busy. There's no rest area. This could have been simplified and done much better. Okay? So then, what do we like? Do we like this little island back here? Well, yeah, that's okay. It's kind of a little bit like the Lost Island, Dr. Moreau. It's not all that interesting. What if it had, what if it had, just saying.
Do you want me to do anything with that before you do anything to it?
Yeah, why don't you, John's going to make a copy of this real quick. Hand me a bag so I can be showing people stuff while you copy this, and I'll show you some other stuff. He's going to make a color copy of this so you can compare how we fixed it, okay? Yes and yes?
He's going to take a picture of it and do it that way instead.
Okay, but I could have had a bag. You're wasting time. You could have just given me a bag to unlock. Give me a bag. No,
there.
Why do I have a spray bag? Here, take this. All right, so this is my other bag of stuff, you guys. So, ooh, look at this. We're talking art hall here, are we not? Talking art hall. Ooh. Oh, what's all this? When I was at the register, he kept buying more stuff. Did you know that? He just kept going and getting more stuff. He's like a little kid in the store.
I got good stuff.
We got more paint tubes of something, and we got this. Okay, so what is this?
No,
this is brush stroke practice paper. We're going to talk about this in another lesson. What is brush stroke practice paper? Because why wouldn't you just use typing paper? Aha, this is special. We'll talk about that. This is holbein acrylic. What is this? Oh, black. This is Mars black. This is zinc white. And this is titanium white. These were the big boxes. This is normally $17. We got it for half off. Amazing, right? So here's the holbein. We got that for half off. Then, for some reason, we got some spray varnish. When would you use spray varnish? Well, sometimes, like Eric, if you have a lot of texture, sometimes if you go back and you use something like gloss medium varnish, it can puddle in the crevices of, say, the texture, and then when it dries, it's cloudy. So sometimes it's better if you want something a little bit shinier, this is why they call it medium and varnish. Add a bit of varnish to the paint as you paint, and it will be shiny, and then go ahead and spray it. Ah, that's a tip you guys didn't know. We don't think we've ever talked about that before, but you certainly can do that. So we got the satin, we've got the gloss, and then John went ahead and got the matte. Now, Alicia Hughes, you guys remember, and this is by Golden, sent me this beautiful portrait, a portrait that she did of me, but she didn't varnish it. So one of these spray-on varnishes are also good for oil paintings, and one of them was. John found, anyway, one of them was, and we're going to use that on the portrait. Okay? And a secret when you're using spray varnish is, besides shaking it up well, don't do it in the house because you can't smell the fumes. And if you do it outside, you've got to do it before the wind comes up, and you don't want bugs in it. So there's some real, maybe the garage with the garage door open. Make sure it's well ventilated, whatever you're doing, but you don't want bugs in it either. So we got that, and then we got something called a color matching guide. Normally it was $17, but we thought of you, and we said, well, I don't know what this does, but we'll look at it and tell you later. But we bought it because, we're consumers, right? And
no, I think we're artists before consumers.
I don't know, I think we're just blatant consumers. All right, so now this is called Pro Artist Tape. Normally I buy something called just Artist Tape as opposed to Pro Artist Tape. But this size, this 1/8 inch size, is very handy. And why do you want artist tape? So you put it on your painting and you pull it off, it doesn't pull the paint off with it. You don't want to use masking tape. A lot of people think, well, why should I buy that? I'll just use masking tape. But no, you don't want to do that. And then we got...
Do that one time and have your painting come off.
Remember I've told you about triangles? Yeah, and how handy they are. I've showed you some big ones. Well,
it's also nice to have small ones.
Small ones are nice too, and the thing about a triangle, here, John's going to take it out of there for me. Sorry, break it. The thing about a triangle is, here, there. You see, you can come up like this. If you put one edge on the side of a canvas, like that's our paper canvas, and when you draw a straight line,
it's
like
straight.
it's straight. You never have to worry. If this edge is lined up, this line has to be straight. If you come down here like this, and you line it up with the top, like this, and with the top of your canvas, then this line here has to be straight. And so when you're doing windows and doors, once you establish a few straight lines, then you can come in on whatever else you did. Like, for instance, I now know this line is straight. Let's do a pencil. This is important stuff. This is really key. Triangles in different sizes are handy. So like, all right, for instance, I know this line is straight, so then I can take the triangle and come like this against this line now, and then this line is straight. Does that make sense? And then I can do this, line it up here, and then this line is straight. So that, in essence, is why you want triangles.
Or two.
Or two. And I've got dozens of them, but I don't have any without paint on them.
Should have bought two of these.
We should have bought two. Yeah. Okay. So here's the picture we're going to change and improve. Okay. Now, before I get too far, I want to get rid of this little thing from our art haul. We're still on that, and then we'll start on this picture. Jack Richardson is a maker of really beautiful brushes. They're marvelous brushes. I just don't want you to think I'm short of brushes. This is just some of my brushes, you guys. I have probably 100 brushes. So I didn't want to buy a lot more brushes, but one of the reasons I like these brushes is because you see I've got these are, see how worn this one is for clouds? These real stiff brushes are perfect for clouds. I bought a Jack Richardson number 10 round Princeton, and then I bought, this is a Signet brush, a number 12 Robert Simmons brush. Robert Simmons, if you guys remember the Simmons line. Number 12 Signet, again, for clouds, and they're very stiff. They're not soft. So that's what these little guys are for, as opposed to some of my other ones that have worn like this completely out. See that? So, not that that's a bad thing for a cloud brush, but anyway. So, but anyway, that was some of the stuff we bought, and we still have 2 or 3 more bags we haven't shown you. So, okay, onward with the art haul. Okay, so the first thing I think I want to do is make the background a little bit more interesting. Somebody's going to win this one too. Let's take out our, here, I don't know, I'm getting a little confused with all this color here, but I think I can do this. Here, we're going to keep using the same palette. I want to add some clouds to this. So I'll start with, start another little brush here. I'm going to start with a dry brush, a little bit of mixing white. I'm going to start here like this, and I'm going to add a little marine layer to my picture. And just kind of put some of that here, a little bit marine layer back here like that. See, a little bit more interesting than just the plain gradated background, yes? Yeah, and because it's mixing white, it allows for some of the blue to show through. Mixing white and zinc white, let me repeat myself, are like the same. They're both transparent, they're translucent whites, okay? Okay, and you're just going to come up here like that. See, I've got these, okay, these clouds that are coming up this way, and then maybe I'll say I've got something coming across like this. Just kind of break that sky up, because that's a lot of sky. There we go. So we kind of made that a little, I don't know, is that happier the right word? Happier the right word, there we go. And then maybe I'll just pull a little of this, push this in the background a bit, and just give it some more mystery. Lighten that up some. Push that way in the background. Our island of Dr. Moreau. And then I think maybe I want a waterfall. Where's that little tiny brush I had? I had a tiny brush, y'all saw it, right? Here, yeah. Let's try some of that. Let's just have fun with it. Shall we just be really crazy and have fun with it? All right, so let's do this. Let's do a little waterfall down here into the ocean, down here into the ocean. Ooh. Ooh. Well, you got to have the sound effects. You've got to go ooh, right?
You don't do that, it won't work.
Yeah, you got to have the sound effects. We're going to say that there's some waterfalls coming down here like this, all down here. Oops. These little brushes only do straight, tiny lines that you can't push hard on them. They bend. Okay,
They're
like
very
this.
soft.
So there's our little bit of, back here on our little island here, like that. We're going to say it's our little island, and then, all right, this was fun, right? Come on, this is fun, right? And then we're going to say, all right, so those are our waterfalls
We have
back
a lot
there.
of people that just joined us. So again, we went to Houston Art Supply, who's having a moving sale. It's a local shop here in Houston.
It's
They're
about
not offering their...
$994, and we're just showing you some of the stuff we got for that, because everything was either 50 to 70% off. And so what does that look like? Why did we buy it? What did we get? And then in the meantime, what we're doing is we're showing you how I have a stack of paintings that people always say, what do you do with the ones that don't work out? Here's a stack of them, and we thought we'd show you how to fix a painting. Can it be fixed? Does it need to be thrown out? Can we fix it? So this is basically the first part of this painting, and what we're doing is we're just going to fix it, and someone's going to win it. Okay? And we also redid this painting. You'll have to see what it looked like in the beginning. We redid these two trees. Someone's going to win that tonight. Okay? So does that get everybody caught up? Yes?
You'll be tested later.
Yeah, this is a test later, so So now, all right, so I've said that happened, right? So I like that, right? And so,
Here you go. This is a good one.
what?
Mary would like to know, can you do a show on organizing the studio when you have a lot of supplies?
You're hilarious. You hilarious. Yeah, actually, we bought some super stuff for that. I have a walk-in closet that's for our art supplies.
I'll do a picture
and
before and
we'll do it
after.
before and after for sure. Okay, so I want to come up here like this, darken up my water here at the skyline. Okay, at this.
Are we changing oceans?
Yeah, we're changing ocean. Well, your water line is always a little bit darker back here. Where's my Southern Ocean blue? Don't I have some of that somewhere? Some phthalo green. What is that? I have stuff. I own stuff. Why don't I see it? You hear me rattling around. Of course, in the $994.33, we did not buy any of the color I want right this minute. Right? Where is that?
Who else makes Southern Ocean blue?
Well, I don't know where it is. I'd love to.
Isn't that just Matisse?
Yeah, Matisse makes Southern Ocean blue.
Well, that's the only one that makes it.
Yes, good thinking, Bubba Louie. I guess I could make it. I hate making it.
Let's say you can make it.
I know. I can make it with a little bit of yellow and white and phthalo blue, right? For sure, I can make
Probably
it.
faster than I can find it.
Probably faster. All right, so here we go. We're going
See, you already made
to start making this tropical ocean here, like that. And one of the things we're going to do is we're going to kind of eliminate all these waves, right? Like this one's got to go. That's just too much visual noise for this picture. So we're going to just get rid of that wave and sort of. In fact,
Do you
probably.
remember the new location where they're moving to? What it was called? I had no idea where they were even talking.
No, it's somewhere else down in Houston. This is the nicest family that owns this art store. They're just lovely, and this lady and her husband, they've been doing this for over 50 years. And it's funny, I've lived in Houston since 1988, and I went to their store back 25, 30 years ago, and I had never been to this one because I always used to go to Texas Art Supply or Jerry's, so I didn't even know they were around. Just shows you that marketing's not a bad thing, isn't it? You know, because I buy all kinds of art supplies, and I'd never been there. I mean, I went there that one time. It was a little tiny store compared to the others, but I liked the owner so much. Had I known more about them, I would have been shopping there. All right, so already it's a little bit less busy, yeah?
Hold on a second. Talk again.
Already it's a little less busy, yes?
No, Ginger's mic is not out. Ginger's mic is going out?
My mic is going out?
I don't think so. Well, I'll keep my earmuffs on.
Okay, listen. All right, so one of the things we know about waves is that on the inside of the wave, it's darker. Did you know that? That the darkest part of a wave is when they come up into the surf.
Now, Janelle's asking, you keep talking about visual noise. What do you mean by visual noise? Can you explain that?
Yeah, if you get, I had somebody in church one time explain it really well. They were talking about, I think this was like a lecture from a person that brought in. If you had something important to say to somebody, right? And they said if you yourself have too much visual noise, the message gets lost. And that's the same thing with your painting. For instance, they gave the example of pearls put against, say, a paisley background, and you don't see the pearls. But if you put it against velvet, you see just plain black or a solid color of velvet, and then you see it dark color, then you see the pearls. Well, every painting has a subject, a center of interest. It's not wallpaper. You're either making wallpaper or you're telling a story. Now, this is a story of a tropical island with this wave coming to the shore like this, right? That's my story here. So I've had so much going on in this other painting, we didn't know what wave I was talking about. See this one? We didn't know if I was talking about this wave or this wave or this wave or this mountain back here. We didn't know anything. So what we wanted to do here, right, was...
You want to simplify it.
We wanted to simplify it, absolutely. We want to simplify it by a lot. I really wish I had phthalo green. Just saying.
You are such a pain. Barb says that they said that they are moving to a new building in the art district where the museum is. I remember her saying that.
Yeah, where the museum is. Yeah, she said that. That's right. Okay, where the museum is. So,
phthalo green.
Anyway, so we've got. Okay, I've got a little bigger brush here, right? And while that's, I'm going to take a little bit of this white paint, and I'm going to put a little bit of this foamy stuff in here like that, in the front of the wave. And one of the things you want to do, thank you, is bring this up. Make sure that this is curving up as you do it. Okay. So then here's my dark color. Then I'm pulling this down here like that. Going to make this wave a little bigger. Okay, going to pull this. We got the one wave, so let's make it a little bigger. Okay, and we'll see. Here's my phthalo green, which the color I really wanted. Let's see if we got any paint out of it. Can't get any paint out of this. That would have been a good color to buy today, since we seem to be. Oh, I've got gobs of it somewhere.
Well, now that we know they're there, we should run back down.
I don't know. All right, so there we go. Well,
it only takes 3 hours out of your day to do it.
Yeah, so then we're going to do this, right? So we're going to come along here like this, lighten this up like this, right? Now, so far, see, here's my mixing white. I'm going to add a little bit of light to my water back here, but keep it very plain. So I don't want anything too busy. Here, let's take a little of that fluid white. I kind of like that because this is sort of drying pretty fast. We don't have that humidifier on.
No, we do not. I didn't know we were going to get this involved with painting.
Well, I didn't either, but I just thought it wasn't fair to just have people sit there and stupidly watch all this stupid stuff we bought at the art store. I don't know why people think that's a good idea, but it didn't seem like a great idea to me. Sorry. So it just didn't. So I'm going to come along here like this and, say where this wave's coming to shore, take my white and bend this way. There we go. All right, so I'm going to make that a little more interesting. I haven't done the top of the wave yet because I have to dry that, but it's still pretty busy. So then while that's getting wet and drying, because that's pretty wet, I'm going to put the beach in. All right, so let's do that. Put a little bit of white with that. Let's get a little bit of beach color. Do I have purple? Is that purple? Yeah, a little bit of beach color. Let's try tiny titanium white. I think I'm getting too into the greens here. I'm out of space on here. But let's see, I'm out of space on this palette. Okay, this is why I don't like to use palettes. This small palette. It's going. So I'm annoyed. It's going. I don't have any room to work.
I could have done like 14 canvases.
Yeah, okay, that's why we go through paint. But I'm sorry, I can't. I have to have room to work.
I have to have room to work.
You have to have room to work.
have room
Didn't
to
have
work.
anywhere, any
no room to
paint.
work.
Sorry, that just
The
happened.
Wicked
John's
Witch of the
rescued
West.
that for something else, and I can't do what I need to do in this short period of time and be encumbered.
Ooh, big word.
Well, I'm not trying to make the words too big for you, John. I'm doing the best I can.
That was a big word.
It was. It was a big word. Okay, so now, all right, here. That's the color I want for my beach. And we're just going to, look, we're going to do this. Now we're simplifying the picture because that's what it needed. The picture needed to be simplified a lot. And let's see, where did we put that burnt sienna? Did you say we had a burnt sienna? Well, this is one here. Okay, so beachy sand is always darker, closest to the water, where the waves have come in and done their thing, right? So that's going to be a little darker there. Now I'm going to take a second and let's see, I want some of this sand back here too. I think we want a little bit of this sand back here too. Back there. Okay, so we've got the beachy water. Now I want this a little bit of lighter sand up in here, like this. Okay. So just not, that was a little dark. I think I got that lighter. Okay, so far so good, yeah. Now when I come back and we dry it, I'll do the wave, and it'll be a more interesting picture than, and more viable than say what this was. Let's see if I can do this back here like this. There's that, maybe I'll, okay. I'll maybe just do a little of this. Okay, let's do a little bit of that with our island back there. Just a tiny bit. Give it a little something. All right, let me dry this. Any questions before I dry it?
Maybe. Let me just scroll just for a second before you get crazy.
Uh-huh.
Just. How can we avoid brush strokes?
Well, you're painting, so you want brush strokes. You've got to use more paint if you want to blend. There's blending, and then there's when you want brush strokes, depending on what you want. But let me just keep going with this, okay?
Oh, jeez. She just jumps right in there and does that stuff. And is it me or? I still hear it pretty heavily. Oh well. We do what we can. Okay, guys. Our contact us form on our website is not working right now. There was an update that occurred last night and it seemed to have killed it, and I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. So we'll look at that. Renee was asking me a question.
She was.
Let me go back up.
Okay. She's asking a question. In the meantime, I'm going to do a bit of glazing. I'm going to come over here with a little bit of white
Message if you get it.
and,
I cannot get voice
and water,
on.
and mostly water. I could have used glazing medium, and I'm just going to, because I dried this, I'm going to tint back this white that we put on here so it's not so white. See that? Just give it a slight tint back. It's back there, but it's not so white. Okay, that's the first thing we did, was just kind of push back those little waterfalls. They're there, but we pushed them back. Okay, now what we've got, where's our phthalo blue? Okay, so we're going to finish off this wave, and then we're going to talk about it, because it depends. You can use blending medium to have things smoother, but, it depends on the painting. And, mostly you want some sort of brush strokes, but you need the brush strokes to go in the correct direction. That's key. We have, whole things on that. All right, so here's the top. You were saying, here's this wave coming here. Remember I told you it's the darkest right here, where it's coming up, right? That's where the darkest part of the wave is. Now let's come up here with some white. And I want to come up the top of this. It's coming up above that, right, like this. And we'll just...
Hope that wasn't important.
It wasn't. I saw it earlier. Certainly not. So now I want to start pulling this wave. I'm going to pull this and a little of the phthalo green at the same time. And I want to pull this wave going this way, quite a bit of water on the paint on the brush. And I'm going to say that there's my wave coming down. Let's just maybe a little phthalo green right over the top of this, like that. Okay, and then we're coming up here with this. What was that? Payne's Gray? What was that? Where did that come from? I wanted phthalo blue. Wow, I don't even know why we have Payne's Gray out there. Couldn't tell you. You're phthalo blue? You should be. Okay.
We do have glasses.
Yeah, but they're on top of my head. Okay, so now I'm going to come up this way.
Are you just using the tip of the brush to pull those waves?
Yes.
You're standing your brush on end, aren't you?
Yeah.
He's like a surfer.
There, I'm going to just come up
He's
here
a
like
surfer.
this into here because I want to say that this came up this way. We're going to say you want to show a direction. This is your brush direction coming up like this. This is your top of your wave. This is where it's darker right here, like that, okay? That's your darkest spot right there. You might have a little dark under here like this where your beach was, okay? Now, then I'm pinching this. Let's see, let's get a little, here's white. I'm going to just flatten that out, okay? You notice I'm flattening it out. Now I'm going to come over the top of this, just on one side of the brush, barely touch it, in a couple of places.
We're using zinc or titanium on the waves.
This is, titanium.
Oh, titanium.
Titanium.
The real stuff.
Yeah, we're just using that right there. And then we're going to come down here in the bottom and make this kind of swirlies. And we'll just come here like that and just bend that over here like this to have it, kind of down here at the bottom. Now, that's all that has to happen to this wave, right? And the thing about it is if you overwork it, you have to be so careful what you touch, because if you overwork it, you'll have to stop, dry it, and paint it again. Like here's some of this green coming through here, like that, okay? So, and you really don't want to do that, okay? So you're going to put a little bit of green down in here, like this. That phthalo green color. So there's our wave, and there might be underneath it a little bit of a shadow under here.
Only the shadow knows.
Just right under here there might be a little bit of a shadow to show where this is hitting, depending on how much it's curled under. Now, do we want to say there's another wave back there? This is where you have to be kind of careful, because you could say there had been one and it flattened out, but the biggest waves are toward the front. So in other words, you just don't need very many. You just have to suggest another one back there. And the darker blue, here you go, just a little bit of darker blue here. Just suggest another one. Doesn't have to be, I think that's where the fluid could be very helpful too. But don't just keep adding waves. Just do one or two and stop. Right, and some of them may be a little bit, let's see, where's that tiny brush here? So if I'm saying here's another little wave, I might just say right here, there's another little one, and just stop, okay? And if I want some white caps, they would just, I'd barely put them. Just sort of smudge them like that. If you get too busy, and then we're going to say we had some back here, then if you get too many waves, then the whole painting like this becomes too busy. Do you see that? This is all too much visual noise. And you can see how by simplifying this, that we got a little bit better. And I might just come up here like this on this one, even using this little brush, and pull some waves too. You can do it with a palette knife too. It's really pretty when you do waves with a palette knife. We'll just pull this over like that, just a few coming down over the top. There we go.
Remember, if you want to try to win one of these paintings, enter the contest right there on the screen, or the moderators. And Diane seems to be putting a link there once in a while for you.
Yeah, so okay, so here's our Here's our little island. We've got a few little waterfalls down here. If I got a little too carried away on the island, I could erase some of it, but I don't think I did. I think we're okay. Here we go. There's our island, like that, back here. And that's really all this painting needs. Doesn't need anything else, and this is, you know, you've got to ask yourself, what's the center of interest, you know, and what do I want my viewer to see? What's going to balance the design? We're going to have a whole brand new, probably in the next couple of months, few months, we're going to have a whole brand new academy just on painting design, not on how to paint, but just on painting design, because that's something that's really, you know, that's really lacking. That's what's, you know, I see this all the time. People want to do original works, but they're not sure how to put the elements together to make for a good painting. And sometimes it takes quite a bit of thought to do that, right? You know, you've got to be kind of careful. You know, what else can I add or take away? You've got to ask yourself these questions. If you wanted to bring, say, somebody closer like this, if you want to say there was a bird here, then you might put a bird back up here that was smaller. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's the kind of thing you can do. Now you can bring a little bit more life to your bird. That's probably why I did this. So I had my seagull in here like that. But, you know, sometimes that gives a little balance between this rock and this wave. Was that seagull? Was maybe just all I needed to have that be okay. And then maybe I could say, maybe I want a little bit of white coming around here like this for my waterfall on my island. Just because that was fun. And part of me wanted to put a palm tree back there, but then that would have taken away, because the subject, you've got to ask yourself, what's the subject? And if it's the top of the wave here, which this wave falling like that, then that's where you want to leave it. Are we going to put some dark holes up in here like this and some white? How complicated are you going to get this? Just a few brush strokes going up like that to show the wave is curving. You don't need to do any more than that. So I'm going to sign this. That's, you know, you guys can kind of see that's, see the difference between this and this. And this. So the question you got to ask yourself is, what can I take away and not ruin the effect? What's my subject? How do I get rid of visual noise? Where are my complementary colors? There were none in here. Just this little bird here, you know, added something, kind of balanced the you know, between the wave and the rock up here. We just simplified it. So just that, I think that's kind of cool, don't you, John?
Oh, we have a question. We have a couple of people asking about the foam. Would there be foam at the bottom of the wave, or are there some that do not have foam? I've never seen a line wave.
What? I mean, a wave like this, the wave with a line?
I've always seen
this
that.
is where the wave is breaking over, sure. This is where the wave is.
I'm not quite sure, Paula, on that particular question.
This is where, right here, Paula, you know, and you can go get some pictures of it. This is where the wave is starting to break, right here. This is the waves come in like paper towel rolls on a flat beach like this. They're not coming in at a peak, right? They're just coming in like a paper towel roll. And it's coming in. But there's a lot of different waves depending on the beach and the sand and where it is. So yeah, two little waves came rushing to the shore. One died with a yawn, the other with a roar. How's that?
Oh, we're going back to our childhood.
Yeah, it's a good poem though, isn't it?
It is.
So that, you guys, and some people might say, you know, some people might have said, and I'm going to listen, you know, some people, let's see, where's that? What happened with this brush? Did we leave it out? Some people might have wanted to do this, and I know that a lot of times you'll see here, they'll put like the foam at the bottom of this wave here.
Oh, I don't like that.
You know what I mean?
I wouldn't have done that.
Huh?
I wouldn't have done that.
I just want you to show that's what they would have done. They would have put the foam at the bottom of this wave. But see, when that happens, then it looks like a birthday cake, and that's stupid. I just want you to see why you wouldn't do it, right?
Well, you didn't dry it before you did that, so there it is.
No, it's not. It is not. This is acrylic. So it is not there, trust me. It is not there. We'll just put it back. You've got to be able to put stuff back or dry it, right? So, so I'll just put some of the paint back. Remember I told you there was a little shadow under here?
Lori wants to know, has it been revealed yet the purpose of typing Rumpelstiltskin in the comments of a recent YouTube video?
No, it has not been revealed.
Not revealed yet.
But you're telling everybody secret words.
So.
All right. So yeah, so that's the so that's the question is, you know, here, let me get where's my little water again here? There it is. Here's my little water here like that. All right, I'll stop and dry it. But yeah, no, you don't want to do that. So here we go. Let's sign it before I do something else. Okay.
You can spend hours on it. Again, this is a 6x8 painting,
This is a 6x8 painting.
You're not going to do a
There's a lot of
details
different things. But the thing of it is can you come back and rework a painting and fix it, the design? And then maybe you take something like this then and turn around and say, okay, now I've got the basis for a larger painting. But you work out your designs in the small one. And here's the red signature slash like that. All right, so I think do we have anything else we want to show for our thing, and then we'll do our drawing?
Yeah.
Again, this is just how do you fix a stack?
You wash your hands.
Yeah, here.
Let's have a tub of towel commercial.
Look here. Here's my hands, you guys, and here's my tub of towels. I
Lay
was
them
telling
down
the
so they can
lady
see
at the
it.
art store there, Vicky, the lady that owned the art store. I said, "You've never heard of these things?" All right, look at this. These are the best things I have ever found to take acrylic paint off your hands. Oil paint, nail polish. You can have some that have been dried on a chair for months, and it'll clean up, furniture, take paint off the floor. One lady wrote us and said that she'd spilled the whole tube of kind of fluid paint on her child on a red paint on a white bedspread, and she used her tub of towels and got it off. I wouldn't have thought it could do that, quite frankly. That's like miracle working. But I tell you what, John and I use these every day, and they're actually designed for cleaning a house.
Oh, that's just silly. Who has time for that?
But here you go, right? And but look at that. So this. So you can't tell me there's more stuff, right?
We just have one last little stuff.
Well, we got some more of these little things. Let's just show. There's more bags of stuff, but let's show that. Make sure we don't get any paint on the ring. I normally don't like to paint with my ring on, that John got me in.
I thought we were just doing a little quick show.
I know this was fast, but then I got to thinking it might really be fun to go through this stack of paintings
That didn't work out.
That didn't work out, and show you how you might fix them. I think that's a good lesson. So
That's a good lesson.
that's as good a lesson as anything. I mean, really, because everybody's got a picture maybe that didn't work for whatever reason.
Okay, now there's a difference. These are the ones we showed you before,
Yeah.
and this is what's called
Belgian linen. Wow,
Right.
Frederick Belgian linen. These are. Did we not buy any more of these linen ones?
No, you cut me. No, that's all.
That's all they had of the linen.
No, I think they had more.
Oh, I like the linen. Well, why do you want linen? These were these ones that we got. This originally had been $17. We ended up paying like $2.50 for these down there. Can you believe it? These are Frederick's canvas boards.
$1.60.
We paid $1.60. Never mind. It was like $1.60.
I don't know where you
So,
came up with your pricing, but $1.60.
$1.60 for that. I mean, you can't beat that. And these are ready to hang on the wall. The linen is very smooth to paint on. These are absolutely awesome. And the lady that owned that art store felt that artists they're so lightweight, you could take it when you went plein air painting, they wouldn't blow over, ready to hang. However, she said nobody bought them, so she really marked them down from $17 to...
She didn't want to move them.
She didn't want to move them. So we moved them, and we ended up with how many of these?
Probably about 20.
We got like 20 of those. We got some new color wheels.
We're going to be using this in our class. These things are going to be coming in that new class. This is all from the new class. That's new
all
class
from the
stuff.
new class. We've got some more tracing paper, which is nice to have. And then somebody else had asked us about how viewfinders work, and we thought we bought one to show you. And that, you guys, turned out to be, I don't know how many tubes of paint and canvases and then, oh yeah, this big knife. Here's what I'm going to do with this big knife. I have a bunch of palette knives, but what I wanted was to be able to put a bunch of little paints on a knife when I'm at an easel, so I didn't have to have the palette, and I could just take it right off the knife. So there's my big palette knife, and again, this had been $15. You know, we got it for $7.50, which is my idea of a good price. Yes. So these were this value guide, color chart. Again, when you get things for half price, why not buy them? And then what was the last thing?
That's it.
That
We
was
just had
it.
a question. How was the linen gessoed? And it's designed for acrylic, oil, temperate. It's all your same stuff that we've been using.
Yeah, it's all for, yeah, we didn't buy anything that wouldn't work with acrylics, right? And linen is a finer weave than cotton. So, you know, people always say, when do you buy linen? And I always say, when it's on sale. And let me tell you something. If you're in a competitive art market and you're trying to sell your art paintings in a gallery and everybody else has got acrylics on canvas and you say yours is on linen, it sounds just a little bit better, doesn't it?
Sounds snottier.
Sounds snottier. So it's just, sometimes it's that kind of thing. Well, this artist is, you know, does well enough where they can get the good stuff. You know, so, and generally speaking, when you're buying a canvas that isn't covered on the back, you've got, what, you know, linen tends to look brown on the back as opposed to white. Here's the back of a regular canvas. You see it's kind of an off-white. Linen would be more of a brown color, all right, if this were linen. Now, one of the things that, again, we're going to put a little commercial in before we do the final drawing. For our Academy members, your members, every week they get new paintings. And one of the lessons coming up in the near future, I was very inspired to do, and I hope you guys like it too. This is called Fireline. And it's on a 10 by 20 canvas. And I think this will be a really terrific painting for some of us to do. I think this is a great tutorial. I'm very excited about this painting. It's very inspired by what had gone in California. One of my friends almost lost all her horses in a fire last year. And I just felt this really, someone else had said, how do you paint fire? This Fireline Academy lesson, look for that coming up soon. You might want to look for a 10 by 20 canvas for when we release this tutorial.
All right, we've got about 360 entries.
Okay, all right, so this is good. We got two things. We have two pictures. Let me move Fireline. So take Fireline down. Here are the two we're drawing for. The first one we're going to draw for is the trees by the river.
Trees by the river.
Yeah, that's the first one we're going to draw for.
That's a good choice.
We're going to draw that. And again, you can see that we did a black and white sketch of this. Now, let me just show you. Let me take the chalk off. I figured out how to put the lights and darks just on a black and white. But let me just erase all that because John didn't do two of these. We should have done two. And what we discovered when we did this painting, when we looked at a black and white, was everything was the same value. So there was no contrast. And so thus was the inspiration to have the lights and the darks more contrast.
There you go.
Okay.
All right. Echo. Pick a number between 1 and 360.
Your random number between 1 and 360 is 13.
13.
Wow, 13. All right. So that's terrific. So who we got?
We have got Terry Bishop.
Terry Bishop, congratulations. You have won Original Painting by Ginger Cook. This is, no, we never did a lesson on this, Twin Trees. hope you enjoy painting that. Or not painting that, but enjoy winning that, because we're going to send that to you after we varnish it.
No, she has to paint it. Make it look like yours.
No, we're going to send it to you, honey. So we will. We'll send that to you. John's got to varnish it. And then we're going to do another number. We're going to do another drawing. Terry, if we think of it, where did my, we appreciate everybody hanging in there with us on this. Here's some of our tub of towel samples. We'll put in a couple of those in the packages, which we think are kind of cool. So we'll add some tub of towels to that too. These are nice to just have in your purse when you get somewhere. Things are very messy when you're painting.
Echo, pick a number between 1 and 360.
Your random number between 1 and 360 is 233.
233.
Way down. Gretchen.
Gretchen.
Awesenfort.
Gretchen Awesenfort. Congratulations, you've won the little ocean painting with the seagull and the island with the waterfalls in the background. There's little waves here. You've won that. And congratulations on winning that original Ginger Cook. And if you've ever wanted to, own one of our original paintings from the lessons, we're having an auction coming up.
Starting next week.
And what is the auction site?
gingercookauction.com.
gingercookauction.com. So look for
We
that.
try to do everything with your name to make it tie together.
Yeah, it's at gingercookauction.com. So do you want to give away a tub of towels? For everybody was so wonderful about that.
Sure. Why not?
Okay.
What do
We'll
we
give
call
away
that?
a couple
What's
packages
that?
of tub of
The
towels.
wave.
Yeah.
Wave Island. Okay. I just don't know what she's got. Alexa. No. Oh, well, okay. We'll go to Alexa. Alexa, pick a number between 1 and 360.
Your random number between 1 and 360 is 212.
212. All right. So it's 212. You've won a couple packages of tub of towels and probably a postcard from me.
Yes,
And hope you enjoyed that. And listen, you guys, if you like this idea of how to take a painting that kind of dismally was failing and how to turn it around and fix it, or can it be fixed, that kind of thing. Maybe I can't turn it around. We don't know. But if you like that kind of thing, let me know in the comments at the end of the video. Let me know if you think you'd like to see more of that kind of thing. We can put a new Ginger's Gem up this week on how to do water drops. Under Ginger's Gem, we have a brand new gem, and a little 8-minute tutorial on that. That was a new one. When we also did Monday, we released a really cool video on a poppy, a giant poppy. So we've had some, quite a variety of stuff, and we appreciate you hanging out with us on a Friday night.
Our next official live is on Monday.
Hey, who won the last tub of towels?
Oh, I'm sorry. Lisa Beakley.
Lisa Beakley. All right, you won the tub of towels. And so congratulations. Now, you guys that are winners,
Don't use our contact us form yet.
don't use our contact us form because give us a day, because our website had
Did an
an upgrade,
update.
and now our contact us doesn't seem to be working right this red hot
So I got to
minute.
rebuild it.
So he's rebuilding it tonight. It'll probably work tomorrow. How's that? Yes? Little public service announcement. We're sorry, but
Oops.
well, it's not our
Upgrades.
fault. Every once in a while, when you think about a website, you just don't paint that out of thin air. You have to get that from, the basic bones of it from a company. And when they upgrade, then sometimes some of the stuff you do doesn't work. And they don't always tell you they've upgraded. They just do stuff like that in the middle of the night, and you wake up the next day, none of the buttons work. It's fun.
Did you sign the tree painting?
I signed the tree painting
yeah.
right there. It's signed.
It was covered by me.
Yeah, I signed
how
the
the
tree
layout
painting.
is.
Yeah, it's signed.
Yep, everything's signed. All signed, ready to be delivered after they get varnished. Again, we appreciate everybody coming out.
Thanks for being guests on our show tonight.
Ooh, guests, I like that.
I hope you didn't think this was too dumb with the art hall. Cinnamon insisted, my daughter, the art Sherpa, insisted that everybody want to know how you could spend $934.
$994. What are you going to mess up our books?
How much
Alex,
was it?
$994.
$994 on art supplies in just a few hours because they had a sale. So, you know, we're the poster childs and maybe, and, you know, when we didn't need another tube of paint this red hot minute.
Yeah, but 40–50% off.
How can you beat 50 to 70% off? You just
You know,
can't.
we can't when we have to buy the stuff like you guys do.
In fact, that canvas was almost 90% off. That canvas was like 90%.
Well, it was next to nothing.
Yeah, it was just like free, so we had to be
I'm
there.
almost tempted to go back down and get the rest of that stuff.
I'm telling you, you might want to consider doing that because that was good stuff.
Especially
But
before
now
Becky
that
gets
we've
there.
told everybody, they're all going to beat us to it. It won't be here. You guys will all be rushing down there tomorrow. I know you, if you live in the Houston area, wait, I want some of that before John gets down there and gets it all. So it's okay. You can get it if you want. Well, let us know, though. We'd love to know if anybody goes down there. And if you go in there, give them a shout out to me. Say, Ginger sent you.
Yeah, please.
Unless Cinnamon sent you yesterday. Cinnamon might have sent you yesterday.
But no, we're better.
But tell me that I sent
tell
you
us.
anyway.
Come on.
Even though Cinnamon
Help out the little
sent you
guys.
first.
We're still under 100,000 subscribers.
Yeah, so thanks for subscribing, you guys.
And if you haven't subscribed, please do so now.
Oh, I know they did, John. How could they not love to subscribe to us? So
I totally agree with you.
now I'm going to have to use all this paint that I had put out when I was in a snit and paint something else. So,
Isn't that fun?
all right, artist temperament aside, have a great night, and we'll see you Monday for another live show Monday night, 7:30 Central.
7:30 Central. Is that PM or AM? Just
I think I said the word night before that, but you know.
Is that an PM or an AM?
Ginger doesn't do anything at 7:30 a.m.
Sammy, Judy.
Good night, guys. Thank you guys for
everyone.
being there. Thanks. Bye, Wendy.
I'm a student,
Everybody that moderated, thank
say
you.
with glee,
Tanya.
of
Sonia.
Ginger
Bye, Tanya.
Cooks Academy. Take your time and do not rush. Use ruby satin, silver brush. Don't use black and mix the green. Learn what blend and grayscale mean. Yes, I hope each day to earn coaching praises as I learn. I'll be an artist, wait and see. Ginger means the world to me.